The James Show Podcast.
What day are we even in? What are we in, like day 20 of the shutdown? Day somewhere that you don't even know. The crazy part is I'm over here looking at Fox News and MSNBC, and neither one of them are saying much about it. It's been on the TVs here in the WBAP mothership. And ever since I sat down, I've seen scant a mention of it. If you go through the headlines, scant a mention of it. I thought this was the most important thing in the world. I thought this was so important that we were willing to shut down the government and have kids die and old people die and people be turned away from healthcare centers and just writhing. And everything's fine, isn't it? Everything's actually doing pretty good. Here's the dirty little secret. We don't ever have to reopen these parts of the government. Because, look, let me give you a great example. Some guy, I don't know if he's some, jerk libertarian like I am, but he's taken it upon himself to document on social media his trips to national parks. Now, national parks, this is a shutdown. They don't have anyone at the toll booth or, at the entrance to collect your fee to go in. And so if you can just go through and they don't have the gate down, then guess what? You can still see Mount Rushmore. You can still go hiking. You can still go camping. You can still go climb rocks. You can still go see nature. And so the one he went to was, I think it's called Three Arches. I don't know. It's a national park where they have these arch formations, and you'll hear him mention them. There's also like one of the big formations there is called Balancing Rock or Balanced Rock. And it looks like there's this giant boulder that's sitting on a very small base. And you're like, that should tip over. Why isn't that tipping over? But you know what? Even without the federal government fully funding all the park rangers that are supposed to work at this facility, you can still go enjoy the national parks.
All right. Day 11, government shutdown, Arches National Park, and here. All right. Guess we don't need a reservation to access our own government land. Sorry. Arches are still arching. Balance rock still balancing.
Anyway, he keeps going through all the sites you can see at the national park. And he does this for other national parks, which is something that I've mocked on the James Show without having, the benefit of someone actually go through and prove it. Because I've always joked, how do you close a national park? And so I even had someone call in last week when I was talking about this, and they were like, well, the park ranger's got to take out the trash. So I can't go look at Mount Rushmore unless that's not even a park ranger. That's a janitor you just described. So how do you shut down Mount Rushmore? You drive by it. Don't look at it. Avert your eyes. It's closed. Look away. Look away. It's like in the Blair Witch Project when they make you go stand in the corner. How do you not observe the arches? How do you not look at Balancing Rock or the Balanced Rock? What a silly thing it is to even purport that you can shut down nature. Oh, the forest, can't go in the forest. Why? Forest closed, sir. It's a forest. It doesn't have an entrance or an exit. It doesn't have one of those screen gates that you pull down like we're at Hot Topic in the mall. It's the forest. It's open. And I love people pointing this out because I think more and more people are kind of getting the feeling that, what are we reopening? Everything's fine. Your life is fine. Taxes are still going to be deducted from your check. Weren't they just deducted from your check on the 15th? Or if you get paid on Fridays, wasn't it just deducted from your check during the shutdown? Sounds like we're not even really shut down, are we? So I hope more and more people are getting that message because, it's kind of hard to pierce through the skulls of people who aren't paying attention as well as you are. But progress is being made. Don't worry. Progress is being made. My favorite story today is the heist that happened at the Louvre. The Louvre is one of the biggest and most important museums on planet Earth. It is the home of the Mona Lisa and 20 other paintings that you don't know the name of, but you would recognize like, oh, I've seen that before. That's me. That's where I'm at in my art journey. But 4 guys dressed as construction workers stole, and they're saying it's Napoleon's crown jewels. It's not Napoleon's crown jewels. It's Napoleon III's crown jewels. So Napoleon's grandson, who wasn't even around during the whole Napoleon thing, he was in the restored monarchy like 50 years later. So it's not a Napoleon thing. It's a Napoleon adjacent thing because they have a similar name and they're somewhat related. But other than that, what a cool story. This sounds like an Ocean's 11 or 12 or 13, or I guess this would be 14. What are we up to now?
A massive manhunt is underway this morning for the jewel thieves behind a daring daylight heist at the largest art museum in the world. Police say 4 men disguised as construction workers broke into the Louvre using this mobile elevator before making off with priceless pieces of France's crown jewels.
This is the heist of the decade, targeting the Louvre, the world's most famous museum. It's as bad as it gets, especially for France, but also for the entire world.
Police are investigating this image from a video obtained by BFM TV, which they believe shows one suspect trying to access one of the jewellery cases. The suspect's making off with 8 items, including sets of sapphire and emerald necklaces and earrings, 2 diadems and elaborate diamond brooches. This one purchased by the Louvre in 2008 for just under €7 million. It all played out 9:30 Sunday morning. Officials immediately shutting down the museum.
And all of a sudden, we were kind of rushed by a big mob of police that were running by, and they were all running to one of the wings of the Louvre, and they were trying to get into one of the side doors.
Visitors inside quickly evacuated. Police say the masked robbers drove up to the side of the museum in a truck mounted with a ladder described as a mobile freight elevator. Police say the lift was extended up to a second-floor window, which the thieves broke open using an angle grinder, a handheld power tool used for metalwork. From there, they're alleged to have threatened security guards before ransacking the Apollo Gallery, where Napoleon III's crown jewels were on display. Police say they tried to set fire to the lift they used before they fled. The raid lasted all of 7 minutes before they escaped on scooters. But the gang seems to have dropped the 200-year-old crown of Empress Eugenie, Napoleon's wife. It was damaged but recovered at the scene.
You cannot replace them. They are so important for French history that you cannot sell these pieces. What everybody fears is that the gold and the silver will be melted down and the jewels will be taken out and sold separately.
Now, along with that crown, the thieves look to have dropped a blowtorch, the power tools they used to get in, gloves. Forensics experts are going to be poring over those items to find any clues to make sure they find these items before they disappear forever.
So they got away with it. They still haven't been caught. This is like the heist of the century. And the price of gas is the lowest it's been in 4 years. And so what we're looking for is the lowest it's been in 5 years. Because then you can say it'll be lower than it's been at any time since, well, the last time Trump was president. And that's kind of a better sell of the situation. What you can say is the gas price being at a 4-year low, now the price of gas is lower than it has been since the first year of the Biden administration. Okay, sounds pretty good. Not quite as good as, because listen, if it goes just a little bit lower, we're talking like a few cents lower, the sentence will be able to come out of not just Trump's mouth, but anyone who's having an honest report on this, and they can say prices under Trump have already come back down to lower than at any time during the Biden administration. We're a few cents away from that, but we also know the common economic arguments that happen anytime we talk about the price of gas. The having a lower price of gas means that when you do your holiday traveling next month, can you believe it's almost Halloween? When you go to visit your kids or your nieces or nephews or grandkids or whoever for Halloween, when you're driving hundreds of miles, that starts to add up. And it's not like you're going to take that money and put it in a mutual fund and retire on it later, but you'll have more money to spend when you get there, or you'll have more money to spend when you get back. And so this is multiplied over and over and over. But, for so many industries that are gas heavy, huge deal for these guys. And the fact that, if you own a trucking company, the gas price being lower than it's been in the last 4 years, huge deal. If you fly a lot, you people who use the services of an airline for anything, big, huge deal for you too. So it's not just, when you stop into Buc-ee's, hey, maybe you can get an extra beer or something because you're saving a few bucks. No, it's of course a lot bigger than that. I was hoping to have RT Trevino on, but he gets sidetracked sometimes. And if he didn't come on soon, we'll just continue this conversation tomorrow, because this is huge. And if the price goes down too far, which this is what we like to ask RT about, at some point, if it becomes too low, that's a bad thing for us here in Texas. We're a very petroleum dependent state. And if we can only sell that stuff for $50 a barrel, then that's going to be a net negative for our economy as a whole. Oh, he's here now? Oh, good. RT Trevino, thank you for coming back on the James Show. Now, what I was just discussing here, has the price of gas, or the price of oil, I should say, gone so low that it's starting to hurt the oil patch in Texas?
Yes, we're going to continue to see more efficiencies in the oil and gas industry, especially on the oil patch. And keep in mind, these wells that we're drilling are now doing 2 to 3 times what the wells were doing just 5 and 6 years ago. So we are going to continue to see this high production. With President Trump in office, we know that we're only going to continue to drill, baby drill, and he wants us to continue to be producing oil. I just happened to be at an event a couple of weeks ago with several of the larger independents, and they're prepared, just like we are at Pecos, to continue at these prices of oil that we're at right now.
So, when you say that we're getting 2 to 3 times more out of wells than we did just 5 years ago, isn't that what you were saying 5 years ago? Isn't that what the oil patch technology brag was 5 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. Since we've established fracking, and it's been more than 5 or 6 years, but the fracking revolution has only continued to build and only continue to grow. And that's because of the technology. The oil and gas industry is one of the first to adopt, believe it or not, and adapt to newer technologies. And that's what we're doing right now. We have some wells now in North Dakota that are looking at 4-mile laterals. That means it's going horizontal on the ground for over 20,000 feet. Whereas, again, just 5 years ago, we were, barely cutting off at 2 mile.
Wow. So it really has gone. What do you credit the new technological advancements to?
Oh, my gosh. We've got so many things, from better geology, and they're only continue the AI revolution. At some point, that's really going to only continue to merge into oil and gas as well. So we are watching that very closely. And the other thing we are watching is the economy. Make no doubt about it that we will hit a price where not only is the price of oil going to be too low for oil and gas companies, but it will be too low for the United States economy to continue to grow.
RT Trevino, when we talk about the price of oil being so important, that's one of the things you guys cover on Crude Truth podcast. What you got coming up this weekend?
Yes, I just got done having a great entrepreneur interview with Clayton Carmack, just talking about faith in business. Really a great episode. Getting ready to have Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne back on the show. And I think I might have mentioned it, but I had a great one with Congressman Pat Harrigan out of North Carolina, talking about the government shutdown and how really energy security is so important right now, and that this government shutdown does not help our energy security or our national security.
RT Trevino, I appreciate you being on the James Show. Thanks for keeping us caught up on the price of oil, sir.
Thank you.
Coming up next on the James Show, we're playing Dead or Alive. I've got to give away some Styx tickets. So if you're interested in Styx tickets, this is the easy game show. I'm going to list 10 celebrities. You have to guess if they're dead or alive. That's it. That's next. If you want to try and win the tickets, call in right now. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker on News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Thank you, Mr. Jovi. He's got a great voice. That what's his name? John something or other? Yeah, new kid over there. Welcome to Dead or Alive. This is a game where I give you 10 celebrities. You have to tell me if they're dead or alive. Today we're playing for 2 tickets to see Styx. One night only, Wednesday, October 22nd. Bass Hall in Fort Worth. Yeah, this Wednesday. Get tickets at unthealth.edu/legends, presented by JP Morgan Chase, benefiting UNT Health Fort Worth. And today's category is Tom. These are all going to be famous people you've heard of before. Name Tom. We'll go to Desiree in Dallas. You're on Dead or Alive. You ready, Desiree?
Yes, I'm ready.
How confident are you in your knowledge of famous Toms, Desiree?
50-50.
Okay. This might be a little easier than you expect then. Well, look, the first 2 are going to be pretty easy. Tom Hanks, dead or alive?
Alive.
See, you're off to a good start. Tom Cruise, dead or alive?
Alive.
All right, Desiree, Tom Clancy, the author who wrote Patriot Games and Hunt for Red October and all that stuff. Is Tom Clancy dead or alive?
Tom Clancy, alive?
No, he died in 2013. Thank you very much for playing, Desiree.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Mark in Arlington, you're next up on Dead or Alive. You ready?
Yes.
The winningest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, dead or alive?
Alive.
Tom Selleck, Magnum PI, is he dead or alive?
Alive.
And I know he's done things since Magnum PI. You don't have to email me, people. Tommy Lee Jones, dead or alive?
Alive.
Isn't he a Texan? Tom Jones. It's not unusual. That guy, is he dead or alive?
Yeah, I'm going to go dead.
No, alive, 85 years old. I know. It's a good guess. I didn't know that one for sure.
He should have been dead by now.
Yeah, well, when you're 85, the clock's ticking, right? Nice way to be morbid there. Steve in Canton. You ready for dead or alive, sir?
Yes, sir.
See, what do we got here? 3 left. So all you got to do is get 3 correct for Styx tickets. Tom Petty, dead or alive?
Dead.
Yes, he's been free falling since, I think it was 2013. Tommy Hilfiger, dead or alive?
Dead.
Nope, live, 74 years old. Oh, no, now we're just down to 1. Rick in Oak Cliff, all you have to do is get 1 correct and you're going to win the Styx tickets. You ready?
I've got a 50-50 chance and I'm ready.
All right. First off, Tommy Chong.
Smoke weed every day.
Tommy Chong is alive.
Tommy Chong is alive. That's right. 87 years old. And he looks great. Maybe we should take up smoking weed there, Rick and Oak Cliff.
Well, at least gummies anyway.
Right. Good answer there, sir. All right. Are you able to go on Wednesday? Are you claiming?
No, you know what?
Pass them along?
I'm not. I'm in Post, Texas for a funeral, so pass them along, senor.
Then we shall do that. You other people on hold, hang on. Garrett will talk to you, and one of you is going to get the tickets, Jeff or Vincent or whoever else is still on hold. And that has been today's episode of Dead or Alive. Mr. Jovi. Let's welcome back John Ingham from the WBAP Weekend Crew. Welcome back, and I watched the Cowboy game yesterday, and yes, they won, and yes, it was against Washington, so I'm happy about that. But it still wasn't that pretty. Tell me, how do you feel about the game yesterday, John?
Well, look, I understand why you're skeptical, but as I said last week, this is a week-to-week league, and for this week, there's nothing wrong, James, with kind of letting go a little bit and enjoying this one. I don't know how many of these we're going to have, and so when they come along, I think I think it would be wise to enjoy it when you can. I'll put it like that. I think that it was a complete game. Everybody is raving about the defense. Well, the defense was okay, and I told you many, many times this defense just needs to be okay. They don't need to be great, and they were okay. They still gave up 22. They still gave up a lot of yards on the ground, but, they gave up 22 and they scored 44, and if they can continue to do that, then it could be a good season. So I can tell by your voice that you're a little bit alarmed.
Well, I have so many excuses. And I'm not a fan of excuses. Yeah.
We've been snake bit, for so many years now. I understand, and I'm that way too. But after yesterday, I want to feel good about this team. But now we've got to turn around and go to Denver. That's a tough place to play, and so we'll see how it goes next week. But for right now, it's okay to feel good, James.
Well, let me go and put in all the caveats in there on why I'm not so excited about the win. First off, Washington had so many injuries on the offense. They had their 3 starting receivers were out, and so they're throwing to the 4th stringer and then the water boy, and they still made 3 touchdowns on us, throwing to nobody, and then their quarterback got hurt, and so now they have their backup quarterback throwing to the water boy, and I don't know why we finally put a lid on it in the 4th quarter, but I mean that's a lot of caveats in there, John.
We did, but I mean their backup is Marcus Mariota, who didn't win the Heisman when he was in college at Oregon. He hadn't done a whole lot in the league, but yesterday he did throw a pick 6 to Deron Bland, and that was great to see for him. He hadn't had one since 2023, and now he has 6 of them, and he's up there in the upper echelon with guys like Charles Woodson, Deion Sanders, and players like that. And so, yeah, you're right. And look, I overall I agree with you on all counts, but I do think it's a little bit unfair to not recognize what they did do well. And they did do well. You're right. Debo Samuel didn't play. Terry McLaurin didn't play. Jalen Daniels did get hurt. But the team still needs to go out and play, and they did. And for all practical purposes, they look pretty good. And I don't want to take that away from them by any stretch of the imagination. All I'm saying is, yeah, we need to be cautiously optimistic, but after it's a week-to-week league, there is reason that you can be optimistic.
Well, look, I will remind you that you've said on this show a couple times you'd rather them have a terrible season than a somewhat mediocre season and get a somewhat mediocre draft pick. And, the draft picks that we're going to get from Green Bay aren't going to be very helpful from that Micah Parsons trade. So, this kind of goes against your wishes here, John.
Well, look, my wishes are the same now. What I said was I would rather, if we don't go to the playoffs, if we're not playoff eligible, I would rather win 3 or 4 games. If they keep winning and can make a good playoff run, then sure, naturally, that's what you want to do. But long term, if you can't do that, you're right. And I did say that, and I stand by it, and I always will. I've never wanted to go 500 and be in that purgatory because that's the worst place to be in the NFL. You don't go to the playoffs, you don't get a good draft pick, and you're just kind of stuck where you were in the Dave Campo days, and nobody wants to go back to that for sure.
How do you feel about their chances against the Denver Broncos next weekend?
Oh, man, Denver's tough. They've got a really good defense. They're, depending on what stat company is doing those numbers, they're ranked anywhere from 1st to 5th. They're really good. They're the best in the league at pressuring the quarterback. They can do it all defensively. Now, we can do it all offensively. The Cowboys have the number 1 offense, and those numbers are continuing to grow. Dak was outstanding yesterday. James, he's the first quarterback in a long, long time to have 3 touchdowns and no interceptions in 4 consecutive games. He's only one of 6 guys to do that all time in the history of the league. CD Lamb was back yesterday, and you saw what he did. He had 110 yards and a touchdown. Pickens is Pickens. He still had 82 yards and looked phenomenal. Jalen was good running the ball. He had 135 yards, I think, 36, and a touchdown. So offensively, we're good. That should be a great matchup. They start a rookie quarterback, and so that should be a good thing for our defense. But the rookie quarterback is playing really well right now. They can still do some things offensively that are okay. They're not great on the offensive side of the ball either, but Denver is always a tough place to play. It's loud, even though it's an outdoor stadium. And, of course, you're literally up a mile high. When you're watching the game, the seats in that stadium are blue, and down around the bottom, there is 1 row of orange seats that go all the way around, and that is the marker for being exactly 1 mile up above sea level. And so that's going to be tough for the Cowboys. But, if they play like they did yesterday, then I like their chances. But that's the thing with this bunch, James, is week to week, they have not been the same football team yet. We see a good team, and then we see a bad team. Then we see a good team, then a bad team. Last week in Carolina, they couldn't do anything. They didn't even have 30 yards rushing. Yesterday, they looked really good. And so that's going to be the determining factor for the Cowboys is can they string together some good games? And if they can, then they have a chance. And if they can't, then we're just going to keep going back and forth. And the ride's about to get really bumpy after the bye week. They have this one, then they have a Monday night game against Arizona, then it's a bye week, then things get tough. And so they better ratchet it up and they better start playing more consistent football or down the stretch. Yeah, what you were saying a while ago is going to ring true. I'm going to hope that they lose out so we get a better draft pick.
Don't do that, John Ingham. Don't give me hope. Because right now we're sitting at 500. 3 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Somehow we're in second place in our division.
Second.
I know. Could we screw around and make the playoffs?
We could. Absolutely.
Okay.
This week is a winnable game. Now, in about a week or 2 into the season, I had this marked down as a definite loss. Now that I've seen what this offense is capable of, and it's like I've told you, the defense doesn't need to be great. They just need to be okay. And if they can be okay, then they have a chance. Now, DeMarion Overshone's 21-day window opened. That means he has 21 days to come and join the 53-man roster. And so, help is on the way. Siobhan Rebell is the same thing. His 21-day window opened up today. So hopefully they're going to be getting some more defensive help. One thing that I'm not sure about, James, is Jerry keeps talking about taking some of that draft capital and making a move right now for somebody. I really don't know how I feel about that. 2 weeks ago, I hated it. But if they can keep winning a little bit, then that's not the worst idea in the world if you can get a good player, meaning a defensive tackle, a linebacker, maybe a safety. I think we're okay at safety. I would rather see that go to a DT or an LB.
Sounds like we could really use Micah Parsons there, John Ingham.
How about 3 sacks yesterday for them?
All right.
You see that?
Hey, I got to run. We're out of time. This is John Ingham, host of the WBAP Weekend Morning Show, and he helps us with the Cowboys coverage as well. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP.
The James Show Podcast.